Welcome, everyone. This is Virginia Parsons, your Hangout mentor and the host of the Inspirational Businesswoman Show, where you know it's my passion and my purpose to provide you, the entrepreneur, with a gold mine of entrepreneurial tips, strategies, and advice to help you grow your business from inspirational businesswomen in the know. And I'm thrilled you're with us today. I know it's a busy time of year. Lots of people are on vacation. So those of you who are joining us, thank you for being here, because I know your time is valuable. So let us know where you're hanging out from, won't you? I'd really appreciate knowing that. You know, it is also my intention that this show is sort of a place for everyone to come together and to share their passions and to build a real camaraderie and a support system to uplift and help each other. So also let us know what your passion is. I'd love to hear about that. So let me know. Put it in the comment section and we'll be referring to it later. Also, feel free to put questions in there as we go through the program. And if we don't get to them live, we'll either get to them in the after show, which we hope you'll stay and hang around for and come in and say hi, or we'll get to them in the comments afterwards. There's always so much information to provide for you and never enough time, it seems. But we do care about you and your questions, so make sure you get those also put in the comment section. Now, today's show is brought to you by hangout-marketing.com, where you can receive a free Hangout marketing assessment. And that assessment is going to provide you with some feedback and an analysis of your skill set and knowledge base in using Hangouts on Air to brand, grow, and market you and your business. So take advantage of that. It will only take a couple seconds. All you have to do is pick up your phone. That's it. Pick up your phone and text the word success, SUCCESS, to 307-269-2040. I'll look forward to sending you some valuable information that will help build your knowledge base, and you might even qualify for a free strategy session with me where you and I will sit down and really get into the nitty-gritty of your business and how you can use Hangouts to expose and get a larger audience and following. So take advantage of that as well. Now let's get on to today's special guest. And I have to tell you, it took a little persuasion to get her to come from being behind the scenes to come in front of the scenes. And that is none other than Shelby Carr. Shelby is an amazing woman who has really learned so much about the back end of marketing and using technology to grow your business. She is the CEO of Teck Shack, and notice that's spelled T-E-C-K, Shack. And she is the resource person you can go to for questions around technology. And I know I really have used her and feel so grateful that she's available for me to get my questions answered quickly so that I don't have to spend my time worrying about technology that is not where I want to be working with my business. I want to get the word out and connect with all of you. And I don't want to get hung up on programs that take my attention away from that. Well, Shelby's your lady, and we're going to be talking today about online business technology strategies and secrets that you can use for profit and growth in your business. She's got a few little known secrets to organizing your online assets she's going to share with us, and also some techie tips to building successful online relationships, because you know that is the key to growing an online business is relationships. And finally, some essential WordPress tools that you can use for profit and growth in your business. So Shelby, go ahead and unmute yourself and come on in and say hi to our audience, won't you?
Well, hi, everybody. Virginia, thank you very much for inviting me to come in. And yeah, I have to admit, I'm not used to getting in front of the camera, so I'm a little nervous today.
Well, Shelby, you have many friends here and other people who are going to be supporting you because you are such a support to so many people. So let the nerves go and just let's share with them some things that I think they're going to find interesting and beneficial in their own business. So how about if we start with how you learned so much of this technology on your own, a little background on that and what it took for you to figure some of these things out when there just weren't the mentors around that there are today. So let's let people know a little bit about that to start with.
Hi, thank you. Well, I started my online business in actually at the end of 2004 by actually joining some free giveaways to get all this, products and stuff that I had gone to a couple, and at the end of the year I was looking at my hard drive and saying, well, I don't understand, what am I going to do with this stuff? And then I thought, well, I was getting emails and things like that from other gurus, and I thought, well, if they could do that, I could do it too. So I actually started in with my own and started building my list by being a contributor of giveaways, so that I could give a free product and so on and so forth. So I did that.
Shelby, let me pause you for a moment because it looks like you have stalled out on the screen. Can you go up again? I know, darn it. Can you go to the adjust bandwidth usage at the top again and try moving that over a notch or two, and let's see if your image comes back up on the screen.
Okay, how's that?
All right, let me see if you come up. No, we're still having a black screen, and I know people want to see you. Now, listen, let's look at it this way. I know you tend to hang out in the background,
Yeah.
but we're not going to let you do that. So I'm going to just talk to people for a moment. I want you to go back out and come back in, see if we can get your image back, okay?
Okay, sure.
Thanks, Shelby. All right, so Shelby's going to be right back. As I say, she's not used to being on the screen. She's used to being in the background. So, I'm not sure exactly what this means when her camera just went blank on us, because I could see her, but it wasn't broadcasting. So I'm sorry about that, but give us a moment to have her come back in. She's on her way now. And Shelby, let's see, can you say hi again to the audience?
Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
That's my girl. See, she knows technology. It's just the camera's trying to be shy, I guess. All right. So go ahead and continue your story about doing some giveaways to start with.
Yeah, I started building my list on the giveaways and things, and then I just followed the example that the gurus were sending me the emails for this. And so I just started emailing my list as it grew, and it kept growing. And I actually, in my first year, I made about $10,000 free and clear and profit and stuff. So I didn't think much of it until later on. I found out that most people can work 5 years online before they make $1, so after hearing that, I was kind of proud of myself. But all the technology that I learned on my own. I built my own websites. I didn't have a coach. One is during that time I had gotten laid off on my job, so money was really tight. So I just kind of like learned on my own everything that I needed to do. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to applaud you for that, because that is hard. And especially when you're talking about when you started, there wasn't nearly the information available. For instance, did YouTube have videos that you could go get trained by?
No, at the time, I really didn't even think about, no, they didn't. Yeah. So I was doing it on my own, and I'm telling you, trying to learn HTML on your own without having anything to describe. But my issue is that I'd see something on somebody's website that I really liked the way it looked, and I'd kind of learned how to go into the source code to look at it and stuff like that.
So you learned how to read HTML. Oh my goodness. That is totally a foreign language to most of us, and most of us don't want to learn how to read HTML. So,
well, it's coding, and it's just coding that you need. There's just some certain codes that you use on all the time, so it kind of gets into your memory on how to do that, So, and I kept a cheat sheet too of the certain codes that I really like doing. So,
all right. Well, if anyone needs help with coding, Shelby's your woman. All right. So let's go into some of the ideas that we had, because, you turned this into a business. You turned it into Teck Shack. And now what you're doing is helping individuals get over these techie challenges so that they can get on with their business, right? And you have this cute, you have this cute little guy that I call a guy. Maybe we'll call it a she ant, but you've got this wonderful little logo.
Since he doesn't have pants on, it has to be a guy. So,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, that's Techy, and he's my inspiration, kind of my little mascot.
Well, and he's got all those hands, and we know how hard ants work anyway. And so it's sort of like when working with you, you are giving people a big hand, a lot of extra hands, so that they don't have to figure this stuff out. Because again, life is too short. I do not want to learn HTML. I can't even learn a second language, I'm embarrassed to say. But don't ask me to learn HTML. It's just not in my category. So you're the woman with that cute little logo who can provide those tips for people. So let's bring out to maybe a first few tips or a little known secrets that we have to organizing your online assets, which are primarily your files, right?
Right. It's not so much as if you're disorganized on your desktop and you can't find things, this kind of wastes time and it gets you very frustrated. So when you organize your desktop first, you could do, I would say that you shouldn't have any more than 13 folders on your desktop. Now you got to understand though, even though you have folders, you can have folders within folders within folders. So if you have a course, you create a folder, name the of the course, and then you would create folders inside of that folder with your videos and your audios and your PDFs and your lessons and things like that. So you would have those separate little folders inside and everything. So that way your desktop is clean. You don't have to, well, where is that file? I know I put it here and it was here before, but now I can't find it. And, and then you're doing a search on your desktop also, using Windows and stuff, that takes time, so if you have them, if you have it organized, first the way that you should, you get into the habit of doing that and it's a lot easier to find things.
Okay, so organizing your desktop. Hey, everybody, go look at your desktop right now. Tip number 1. And do you have more than, what did you say, 14 files on it?
I would say no more than 12 or 13, actually.
Okay.
And that, of course, that includes the recycle file. You can, that always stays up there. It's always a good place to have it. But
that's another question in and of itself. How many people remember to empty their bin, their trash bin? And how does that affect the computer performance if you have put stuff in the trash for years and forgotten to take it out and empty it?
If you think about it, okay, your computer is run by how, everything that's on your desk top, everything that's open, everything that's running in the background. So it's taken up space, number 1. And usually I would recommend that you optimize your desktop in the background at least maybe once a month, to get it optimized, because, as you're deleting files, you're leaving big holes and stuff like that in there. So it's causing the computer to work a little harder. And if you don't empty your trash bin, not only is it taking up room, it's taking up space, but it's also creating a burden more on your computer, because then it has to go through all the files looking for whatever it is that you want. So I would recommend doing that all once a month.
Okay, once a month, empty your trash, number 1. Number 2, no more than 12 or 13 files. Let's say no more than 12, because a 13th file is your trash can. All right.
Right.
Now, remembering that within each of those files on your desktop, you can have other files within the files, but at least now you have it categorized in a way that you can quickly and efficiently find your information. And if it's not on your desktop, Shelby, where else should you be keeping those files?
Well, I also use OneDrive, because I have a Windows computer, and of course with Windows Live you get a free OneDrive on there. So I like it because I can download a folder onto my computer, and I can work just in that folder, and it syncs it to online OneDrive. And that way, it's done that automatically. And that way, if my computer crashes, I have all my important folders and everything in there so I can get them back. I've had more than my fair share of crashes over the years and have lost a whole lot of stuff. And nothing is worse than buying products that you've paid good money for, like coaching programs or something like that, that you pay good money for, and you have a crash and you've lost everything. Then not only do you have to go through your account to find out when you bought it, get the link for it, and then write to them and say, I've lost my download. Can you send me another one or something? That's kind of embarrassing, but I put everything in there, my downloads, all my client folders, everything is there. And then also, if you need to share a folder with your client of what you're working on, it's easy to do if they have the OneDrive. And yeah, you can do it with Google Drive, but I prefer OneDrive. It's a lot easier to work with.
Okay, so OneDrive is something that's automatically connected to what, Microsoft programs? Where do you pick up OneDrive?
Yeah, if you have a Windows-based computer, you already have the Microsoft, and you've already, they'll ask you to kind of set up your account with like Windows Live or something like that. And then if you do that, you automatically have the OneDrive for free, and usually it's like 7 GB or something, which you can fill up really fast, you know. But if you have a lot of stuff that you want to move in there, then their upgrade option is not much at all. I pay like $3.99 a month for 200 GB, which is really a lot, but
Oh, wow, yeah. So that, and the other thing is that you get your, will OneDrive automatically back up your files for you, or do you have to actually save them in OneDrive and then you'll know they're backed up because they're in the cloud?
no, once you bring the folder down on your computer, on your desktop, and you have the folder there, you can move files over into it, and it automatically syncs up there. So it's automatically saved. And one of the things I like about it, that sometimes I use more than 2 computers. I have like 3 computers that I could be holding something on something and then move over to another computer to work on, and I want those files. And it will, as long as you got that OneDrive on all 3 computers, you can interchange the files and use it on a different computer all the time. I used to do that constantly.
Well, that's great to know. So those of you who have not used OneDrive, check it out. I see Charles Dunkley. Hey there, Charles. Welcome. He uses OneDrive and OneNote both. So that's terrific. I also want to take a moment and say hi to a few other people. Dear friend of mine, Jackie Walters, great to see you here. Becky Limo is here from Nairobi. How about that, Becky? Welcome. Gregory Sneed, passion, travel, hope, and opportunity for all. Gregory, thanks for joining us today. Doriana Peterson, thank you for coming in from Tucson. That's terrific. And let's see who else. Rachel Orsi here from Baltimore. Rachel, good to see you again this week. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today. So now, Shelby, you've got some other tips I think that are important that I think people really neglect this one. I know I used to, but I'm good at this one now. But that is using your tabs correctly for your browser. What tips can you give us about using tabs more effectively?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. It's actually called a bookmarks bar, and I live by my bookmarks bar. It's actually where you are bookmarking everything, but I actually bookmark everything as far as my business. I bookmark everything for my clients. So if I have a client that I have to go into the WordPress site, and I don't want to have to keep looking for it and stuff like that. So with my bookmarks bar, I've put them in folders under clients. Then I put the client's name, and then I will put, you know, all their logins for their WordPress or their cPanel, everything like that. And I also use LastPass as a password saver. I mean, that they correlate very well, and I love it. I've been using it for several years, and I've not had any problems with it because all my passwords are saved and they're there when I need them. But with the bookmarks bar, you don't need as many folders up there. I have one for my business, I have one for clients, I have one for downloads, and then I have one for courses that I have in there, or research that I need done, uh, advertising, just enough to go over, because I don't want to have to keep looking for all my bookmarks. So if you work it that way, and you can put folders within folders within folders there also, and you keep them organized enough that you don't have to go and even depend on, like, a lot of people will depend on their history when they start typing in something for it to be there. But if they've automatically wiped out their history by accident, it's not going to be there. Whereas the bookmarks is saved in the background in your Google account or in your Firefox account. You set those up and they're automatically saved there. So no matter if you have a computer crash and you have to start everything all over again, your bookmarks will show back up again once you log into your account. And I like that. And plus, I can use it on a different computer if I'm, over at my son's house or something like that, and I need to get in there. I can get in there with, just changing a couple of things, and it's really easy.
So that's neat, because isn't it nice to know that you can find your bookmarks if you're at someone else's house or on someone else's computer, and it just is a matter of logging in correctly so that those bookmarks show up. So I love that. I love knowing where my bookmarks are. I cannot stand searching history. I mean, I would be at that for hours. I don't have time for that. So bookmarking is good, you guys, but don't just bookmark and leave it in a bookmark file. Put it into more organization. I think we all need to think about organizing our, as I call them, our online assets, whether it is a location that you want to go to frequently, where as Shelby's saying, she has logins for her clients, and they're all, neatly organized so she can quickly get to that login information. So check out your bookmarks. So those are a few organization tips that are going to save you some time and therefore help you focus on making more money in your business.
As we know, time is money online, so that not only does it save you time, it also saves you money. So
Yep, and that's what we're about. It's making your life a little simpler. Because sometimes you can just get buried in online technology, and that's not the point. Again, that's why Shelby is such a great resource. So let's talk about online relationships, Shelby, and how you use tech tips so that you can build really good, authentic communication and build those relationships to make them more lasting.
okay. Well, one of the things that I'm really big on is autoresponders, and a lot of people say, well, what is an autoresponder, or how do I do that? Well, in order to make money online, you need to build a list. That's and the list is people that have opted in to get, uh, to follow you, to um, get what it is that you have to offer, and to know that. So in autoresponders, your follow-up messages that you actually put in there when someone opts into your mailing list is very important, because that is, I mean, you could have nothing there, but then they don't hear anything from you and they just forget. And the next thing you know, when you do send something out, they're going to say, well, when did I join this or something. But when you do your follow up, you should have at least 3 to 5 messages following up within a week apart. One that shows up immediately to welcome them in and thanking them for joining your list, and to express what they can expect from your messages. But one of the things too, I'd like to, and people say, well, I don't know how to write this. Pretend that they are one of your best friends, and that you're writing them a quick message to let them know what's going on. Okay, so one, that's not only is it's in your voice, but you're more comfortable talking to your best friend that way. So kind of treat them like your best friends, communicate with them like you've known them forever, and one of the things that they like to get a little inside scoop of your private life. Tell them stories, tell them things that happened when when you were growing up or something. One of my best stories was when I used to say about our Sunday dinners when I was younger, about how my grandfather would come in right before dinner was ready, eat dinner, go take a nap, and we all got to go out and play baseball. And we'd play until he woke up. It was time to go home. So we got to visit with relatives and have fun while my grandpa went and took a nap after his dinner. And that was one of my best. I got more responses, and they'll respond to you about how that was great, or I remember this, and things like that. So be more yourself, and don't be so stiff when you write to them. And then a big thing too, G Plus and Facebook are really, really big. Okay. And if you're going to do business on online, you need that social uh, structure. And one of the things too is that if someone says something to you in Google Plus, do comments, answer them back, even if it's just like a sentence or something like that. It will, in the long run, it will earn you, an evangelist. They will like you. They will trust you more, and they will buy more from you when you have your products to sell.
Well, it is all about building relationships and being authentic. I think that that's just so important in life, let alone if you're online. It's even more important that you are yourself, that you're authentic. And yeah, it's not just that you're doing autoresponders or posts on social media that are salesy. Nobody wants that. People want to know about you, and you have great stories also about being brand new in technology many years ago and being self-taught, and because you worked so hard at figuring out, you ended up building a list, having the autoresponders working for you, building up relationships and making money, and this was all part-time. So nothing to me is better than the connection you can create with building relationships through any means, whether it's social media, autoresponders, excuse me, emails. People would much rather get an email, in my opinion. It's got a good juicy story in it than something that's just roundabout business kind of thing.
Buy my product and do this and do that. I get those all the time. But I have to tell you though, some of my best friends are online, of people that I have never met in person, but I've been friends with them for like 10 years. you know. So online friendship is great. It really is.
Well, and you know how I feel about it, because that's what I love about Hangouts, because we can connect online. We can build real relationships. I have friends now from all over the world I never would have had without using this medium. And that's why, hey, I'm an advocate for it.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. You have the Hangouts. That's just your thing. Then you have Skype. You have, Google Plus. You have everything that you need. You don't have to, just not know anybody. You can build your relationships, and the more that they see you, the more that you respond to them, is the more that they're going to respond to you.
yeah, and just give, and as you say, comment. Interesting, because I did a post earlier this weekend because I went to the Reno Hot August Nights and saw the Barrett Jackson show of all these incredible cars, and I posted my favorite car that I saw there. And I got more engagement with a post about a car. Now, that's not anything to do with my business. It was just a fun activity I had this weekend, and I wanted to share it. And it just so happens that I picked out the one of the top award cars as my favorite car. It didn't win first place, but it won second place. And I don't know anything about cars, but it was just fun to share that. And I've had more engagement with it just because it was part of my life. So yeah, share your activities. People are interested.
Absolutely. And then those people that did comment, they're going to remember that later on. They're going to remember that, and they're going to feel more comfortable and trust you more just because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get to the third topic, because see how time flies? We've already gone through our 30 minutes, and I want people to get these juicy tips about WordPress, because I know that that's one that you say you get the most requests for assistance with. And you have to understand, Shelby is helping all sorts of people with their technology, and they come to her with lots of questions. One of them that they come to her about a lot is how to properly set up their autoresponder. But another is how to do WordPress, which is really the most popular format for getting a website up. So I know, Shelby, that in the few minutes we have, you can give them some juicy tips about maybe some of the best plugins that they could use that work with their WordPress site, and maybe a couple tips about using WordPress in general. So go ahead and take the floor on this one.
Okay, WordPress has been around for a while, but it keeps improving a lot better. So, but there's still people that really don't understand it too much. Like, you have posts and pages. They don't know the difference between a post and a page. Well, a page is something like that you want. You'd see two navigation bars when you go in, and those are the main things. The page is something that would be there all the time, whereas a post is like a blog post. That as you post different stories, they keep moving down to the end. So it's different. It depends on how you want it. Like any of your sales pages, your about pages, that tells a story about you, tells you, about your business and things like that. Those would be considered pages. Whereas if just like news about something, um, that just came up and you want to discuss that, which like a trend or something like that, would be a post, because it would be just fleeting, even though it'll be there for years. And it's that each time you post is something new will show up to take its place and stuff like that. And then when you set up your business, you set it up actually in pillars, which would be the basis of what your business is. So they try to understand that, on like what actually, my business would consist of, that people would be more interested to do. And that therefore, all your posting and your information that you give to your clients and stuff, the people that come to your blog, would be listed under your pillars, so that they can get the information that they need. But then we have the plugins, which really, really help. My favorites, I've got about 3 favorites that I like to use all the time. I use Embedded Pro. It's by Super Themes, and it's free. All these are free. One of the things that it does use is it has in it, it's what they call an HTML snippets. And I use that quite a bit for adding audios. We use Audio Acrobat. So to add the audios and the videos to our posts and pages, then we use the snippets, because that way you can just have them created and you just get a little short code afterwards. But if you ever have to change that, you've got one place to change it, and then you can set the snippet or the short code in any page that you need. And then another
All right,
one.
let's pause so they know what that is, and we'll write these down in the comment section as well. But this is one that Shelby really just introduced me to, and I'm thrilled to have it, just because she said it will save you time if you ever have to do it again. You create a snippet of what you're wanting to post that's some larger block of HTML, and she uses Embedded Pro, EMBEDIT Pro, and it's a free plugin. So that's one to think about, because all of a sudden I started using it with her recommendations. Oh, this is so easy. I wish I'd known about this simple little plugin. So go check that one out. All right, a couple more, Shelby, that you want people to know about that you think are kind of essential plugins for their websites.
Right. One of the essentials I think is really good is called Pretty Links. The Pretty Links Lite is free. Also a free plugin that you can get. What I like about it is that, one, it brands your site, number one, and number two, it gives you short links. One of the things that people, you know, you want them to remember your site. So your name would be branded like, your website.com / and then you get a little short code that to you would describe what it is that you want your links. You can use that for affiliate links. And one of the worst things I think is the people that have this long affiliate link or a long link that they can't remember what it is, whereas, like I use that for Teck Shack a lot. So it's techshack.com / say I want them to go to my Google Plus page. I was at techshack.com / G plus or TSG plus for Teck Shack Google Plus or something like that. So that way you don't have this long link that they would have to remember, but you have it there. Plus, it'll also show you the how much traffic, how many people are clicking on that link, so that that you actually put it in the right place, or that they're doing it, and that you're getting some engagement from your customers or your reader base.
Okay, so that one's called Pretty Link. And again, it's about branding. So instead of going to something like Bitly or a Google shortener, or what are some of the other ones that I'm aware of out there, Tiny Earl, you're not branding yourself then. But if you get something like Pretty Link, now you can put the name of your business in front, or some shortened part of your business in front, and then the link that you want them to go to after it. So Pretty Link, you guys, that's one. We're going to stay on a couple minutes late. I want you to get this information. It's valuable. Okay, Shelby, one more.
That you can find from Bitly, though, and then the tiny URL, that a lot of the hackers are doing that. I don't never click on a Bitly or a tiny URL because, they could have viruses in it or something like that. So that way, if you have your branded name, they know exactly what it is, and it sticks in their mind a lot better. One of the others that I like is the Tiny MC Advanced. I like Tiny MC Advanced because there is, especially when you're writing your posts or pages, and you want to make them look pretty and format them correctly and stuff like that. And sometimes WordPress just doesn't want to cooperate right. But Tiny MCE helps with that, So it does, with the formatting and the fonts that you want to use, and the different sizes and stuff. So.
Okay, could you spell that one? Because I'm not familiar with that one.
It's Tiny, TINY MCE Advanced.
Okay, Tiny NCE Advanced. Is that correct?
M is in Mary.
M.
Yeah, Tiny MCE Advanced.
Got it. Tiny M is in Mary, CE Advanced.
Correct.
Okay, well, I know we could go on for hours, Shelby. You're a wealth of techie information. We've only scratched the surface. So here's the thing. I'd like you to know more about Shelby. First of all, in a moment, I'm going to put the link to the after show in, so you can come join us, say hi, ask Shelby any questions you might have. But I'm also going to have Shelby go ahead and talk to you a little bit about how you can get more help from her, because she has a great offer. She has a 30-day free offer. You can get all the tech assistance that you might need through her Teck Shack Gold member program. So Shelby, you go ahead and talk about that, and I'll put in the link to the after show. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Virginia. Teck Shack, as I was saying, was created to help people with the technical aspects. I've actually worked assistance with a couple of big online marketers and stuff. And one of the things that I had more issues with was the people, they would buy the program and they would tell them how the program needed to be set up or something, but they didn't know how to do everything else. They didn't know how to connect autoresponders. They didn't know how to connect their PayPal buttons so that for their sales page, or they didn't know how to do a post or any of that stuff. So they were just kind of like stuck there. And most coaches or gurus or whatever, they'll tell you the when and the why that you need it, but they never tell you the how, because they figure that you already know, and they don't. So that's why I created Teck Shack. We do 2 live calls a week Mondays and Fridays, different times. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern on Mondays and 3 p.m. Eastern on Fridays are the calls. I do things a little different. Instead of we do it on a GoToWebinar, and instead of just they wanting to know how to fix something, and instead of me going to show them how, I actually turn the presentation over to the person that actually has the issue and walk them through it, because they will learn faster if they're walk through it as they go, and they do it themselves. Plus, we're all in a group, and we get other advice from the other members also, that sometimes I don't even think about, or I've forgotten about, or something like that. So we have, it's not, the calls are not muted at all. You can ask your question. You can, say whatever that you need to say at any time. We don't mind being interrupted and such. So it's really good to do that. Plus, you also get the recording of the video and the recording of the audio for that, so that way that you can go back later. If it's something that you want to go, you can go back later and watch it again, or just get
well, and I love that you record and provide that for people who can't get there live, because the video is so powerful. I mean, it's showing you, it's the how-tos. So I think that's terrific. Now we have one quick question, Shelby, before we say goodbye, and I have already put the link to join us in the after show. So please come on in, mute yourself when you come in, but we can't wait to talk to you. But Gregory Sneed wants to know about upgraded WordPress hosting. What is your opinion on that? Do you end up with faster page loads? He personally uses Bluehost as his provider. Do you have an opinion on getting an upgraded WordPress hosting?
Not really. All I would know is, okay, to have WordPress host your WordPress site is actually, you're not able to really use your own business name and stuff. So if you're going to be in business, you need your own domain name. I mean, you can have a domain name, and then you'll have it, your business name .wordpress.com is not really good. So having it hosted, somewhere else with your own domain name is more conducive to your business.
Well, I think he does that because he's using Bluehost. But I guess and I'm not familiar with this, Gregory, so if you can either come into the after show and talk to us a little bit more about it. I'm not familiar with an upgraded WordPress hosting service, and I use Bluehost, so I'd like to know more about that and what you think the advantages are. It looks like he thinks that you might have faster page loads, but I'm assuming there are other ways, even within WordPress, to speed up the loading of your pages. Do you have a final comment on that?
Well, in speeding up your pages, it depends on your bandwidth, of course, the size that you get, but it also depends on what you have coming up on the pages. Your images. Your images should be smaller, instead of, some people I've seen uploaded like 3,500 by 2,600 size image. The smaller your image, is the better that it will upload and for your site. So you need to make your images smaller, and things like that.
Okay, well, this has been great. I know we've just barely scratched the surface, but at least I hope you've gotten a sense that, there's a lot of technology out there that you can learn on your own. Shelby initially learned all this on her own, and then from there has gone into much more extensive training. So it's not that you can't do it on your own. It is, do you have the time to do it on your own? Do you really want to do this on your own? I know that I don't. And that's why I really encouraged Shelby to come on today, because she really speeds things up for me when I need some help with something. I just want to get it done. I don't want to learn a whole nother program. I just want to get it done so I can focus on what is a result producing, more profitable use of my time. So I hope you'll take Shelby up on her 30-day trial. It's well worth it. Come on in and join the rest of us who are part of the Teck Shack community or getting help with these things. And any more questions, either post them in the comment section or come on in and say hi to us in the after show. We can't wait to meet you. And thank you once again, Shelby, for joining us today. I really appreciate you taking the time and stepping out into public.
Can I say one more thing, though?
Please.
Anybody that has an online business, even though whether or not you actually know is going to do working on the technology, you need to at least be able to understand it so that you can tell the people that are working for you about what you need to do, and also to check to make sure that they do it right. So it's not whether, even if you don't want to do it yourself, you should really actually understand the steps on how your business is put together so that you can relate that and make sure that it's done correctly.
I got it, totally. So understand it, but don't feel you have to do it all. I think that's a bottom line. That way you can help other people know what you need done and you get back to your own business at hand. And so thank you, Shelby, once again. Thank you all for hanging out with us. I know we went over, but I thought this was important information. I hope you'll come join us in the after show. And if not, we'll see you on the next Inspirational Businesswoman show. Thanks. See you later. Bye-bye now.
Thanks, Virginia. Thanks, everybody.